Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and today we're starting a coverage of Batman Arkham City. I played Arkham Asylum a while ago, and I wanted to play a game that was just kind of a more standard action experience, so Arkham City looked like a good pick. Instead of just having Batman in one pose, this game seems to shift between several different poses, which is quite a lot actually, considering how you probably aren't going to be on the main screen that much. I'm going to throw it out there and say I think this is a 2013 game, but I don't know for certain, and I don't want to bother to even look it up. Now, the only real danger I could imagine that would happen here is we are going to potentially maybe have some hitching because the GeForce experience actually told me to turn down the graphics in this game below what the maximum is, which for most games that I've been covering, the maximum my graphics card could handle more than well enough. I have a pretty good graphics card. But it is also noticeable and worthy of mentioning that the fourth Batman game in this series, I think it's the fourth in the series, although they would probably argue it's the third one in the series because they don't want to count the one that came after this that wasn't made by the same company. That game was so bad, Arkham Knight, I believe was the name of that one, that it was the triggering factor for changing how refunds happened in a lot of places. Interesting, subtitles on by default. Playing with a controller. Now, the one thing I didn't like about the first game was that it was very much just a beat 'em up button masher. So I'm hoping that that won't be an issue. I guess we could test the performance here. Maybe this would give us a bit of a catch-up. There's also going to be some weirdness, certainly, in that the main characters of the Arkham series have to be the Joker. Joker was in the first game. He pretty much obviously is in the second game. I would like to see more done with the female villains. The two, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, barely showed up, and Batman really didn't fight them. They kind of had some weirdness with the final boss fight with the Joker, and Bane was a little bit of a weird character too. We saw a lot of characters, some of which like kind of don't matter, like Zaz. It'd be very weird to see Zaz come back as a major character, but we definitely would want to see the Riddler, and it'd be nice to see Two-Face. It'd be nice to see Clayface. Be nice to see Alfred and Oracle play a little bit more of a role in this sequel. So, averaging 77, we went down at one point to 40 frames per second, and we went up to 114 frames per second. I think that's good enough, then, as long as it gets 60 frames per second. I didn't see anything while watching that video demo. That didn't tell me anything about like the story. We are kind of in a weird Batman storyline, particularly now because Batman has been just rebooted and retold through so many movies and so many other things. So we can't see the story synopsis because that's probably a synopsis of this game's story. You can't see statistics, can't see concept art, and we can't play whatever this new game plus is, which main story plus. We can play the DLC Harley Quinn's Revenge. This is the Game of the Year version of it. And I guess we can start by looking at some 3D models of characters. So we've got Batman here in our 3D model viewer, which I'm not sure if this really is an Unreal Engine game, but it definitely feels like this is something I've seen in a lot of Unreal Engine games, is that the 3D model is pulled in. There was a terrible YouTuber who had a hot take that said the Batman games strategically programmed the cape to cover Batman's butt so you can't see it. Well, that's definitely not true in this model, at least. Although he is basically wearing the Superman underwear. That is pretty awful underwear on the outside type appearance. So here we have the animated Batman, the DLC. It would be fairly crazy to play as this. The camera is weird because it doesn't have a tilt ability. You can zoom in, and when you zoom in, it goes straight to the face. So, but then I can pan with the right stick, but I can't tilt. So I assume you probably could play as these different Batmen, and at one point this definitely was a DLC element that wasn't really worth it. This uniform's too blue, but I think it's a little bit smoother. None of these outfits particularly look good, honestly. When you see Batman in the daytime, the outfit is just kind of ridiculous with the giant utility belt and the shorts over spandex. This one starts to get a little bit more realistic. It feels like it's just full of padding all over the place to protect him, and the black belt ties in a lot better. Which Batman? That's Earth 1 Batman versus... So let's just talk about how many different versions of Batman there are. Animated Batwoman, 1970s, Year 1 Batman, Earth 1 Batman, Dark Knight Returns Batman. Which, yeah. A lot of these outfits don't particularly even look that different. The problem with DC is that they're just constantly trying to heavily lean on Batman to make their entire cinematic universe work. Here we have a Nightwing outfit with no cape, and honestly that makes him look much more like Black Panther with the red Batwing on it than anything else. And it's kind of ridiculous to have a shiny belt. That's Batman Beyond Batman, which wouldn't even be Bruce Wayne. Here you have a Sinestro Corps outfit. That actually is pretty good. Like a single unitard with highlights of gold. Yep. The Sinestro Corps, I guess it's worth mentioning, is the one of the Green Lantern competitors that their yellow rings control the power of fear. Since Batman has controlled fear in one storyline, he becomes a member of the Sinestro Corps, which is run by a character named Sinestro. It doesn't really have anything to do with anything. Here we have the animated Catwoman, and see her unitard is very form-fitting because they're trying to do something here. Well, the whip is not connected to anything, so there really needs to be something there that would explain how that whip would work. If you zoom in really close, you can even see little tessellations and patterns on her outfit. what, since they're not trying to make her muscular, it looks a lot more normal, just human. High heel boots. We certainly could complain about the fashion and just the genderedness of a 1960s, 1970s image here. You can get the edges here. There's kind of a warping around the image, it seems, that to give the impression of a black line and make it feel more cartoony. But yeah, I think her eyes and her lips look way better than anything else shown. So, yeah. Where if we were to just go back to Sinestro Corps, here you've got his eyes covered with his mask and his lips pale and unshaven. And then when you look at the actual outfits, it's just almost every Batman outfit has ridiculous 8-packs, 6-packs of ribs, ridiculous groin, and thighs and legs and feet, and just like everything is super muscular. It probably would be a little bit more egalitarian to have a few more super muscular females in the Batman universe. But nope, here we have Catwoman in what looks like a bat suit. See, they even have like a beauty mark on her. And see, this is where it starts to get a little weird. If you look under her ribs there, how the cloth starts to not really quite feel natural, and she has a bit of a 6-pack too. And shorter high heels. And then the backside here is just right up her crack and right down the line of her spine. And so yeah, it definitely doesn't come off as feminine to most people's eyes to have a super muscular female. And then when you can combat that to the cartoony version of Robin here, he barely has any muscles. He has a little bit of pectorals, but kind of wimpy, scrawny arms. His face, again, cartoony. Mask here. I would say Robin's outfit is better because instead of it looking like he's wearing underwear on the outside, it looks like he's wearing a full unitard with green leggings, which is still kind of ridiculous, but whatever. He's not got any muscles or padding or anything like that. His butt crack is not being invaded by his costume. Yeah, I didn't realize we were going to spend so much time looking at character models to start with. Red Robin. Without the ears, this mask just kind of stands out, but it's not a terrible thought. There needs to be something to indicate ears, but they don't have to be bad ears. Because this outfit just kind of feels like this person is either deaf or capable of hearing through the cloth of his clothing, which maybe is true. I don't know that much about Red Robin, so I like this shirt. It gives lines and linearity to the shirt without just trying to overemphasize 6-packs. When you get over to the ribs, they're still a little awkward. I don't think the 3D modelers did a great job. I like his arms. They're muscly but not too muscly. Thighs, same issue. But yeah, definitely a lot of these, the anatomy is way off on these characters. And then here we're back to just way too much detail on an outfit, way too emphasis of 8-packs on the outfit. This half looks robotic in metal for Nightwing. Here, his outfit going up his butt crack. In that case, in the spine, and his mask is just covering the eyes. There probably should be more Batman characters like this, but the unkempt emo haircut certainly doesn't do him any favors. Yeah, that was Nightwing. Where here's a more cartoony Nightwing where his hair is kept and he has a different face mask and just a single unitard that's not trying to overemphasize muscles. I honestly feel like the cartoon versions of these, the animated versions of the characters, are better than the non-animated versions. So here we have Morning Harley Quinn and the Suicide Squad series of movies, which aren't, I think, really even a series of movies at this point. It feels like they made a movie called The Suicide Squad, then they made Birds of Prey, and then they're making another movie called The Suicide Squad to start all over again. But the main interesting character in those three movies has been a Harley Quinn that looks somewhat like this Harley Quinn, which this Harley Quinn was definitely founded in this game series. The sexy outfit Harley Quinn really didn't exist until this point. It was Batman the animated series up until this point. Seems like they're gonna say the Joker died, and she's in mourning. You don't get to see a lot of Harley Quinn in the first game, and you don't get to fight her, where I think it would be nice if she has a gun and a hammer. She can actually put up her dukes and fight. She's got a tattoo on her belly, and her belly's exposed. She's got cleavage showing. She's got a J necklace, or barely any red in her hair at all. This is probably a great way to emphasize ability, agility, and not make a female look overly masculine. You don't see huge muscles here. It's also a cartoon world, so it's important to realize that they could be any character can be super powerful and not look super powerful. Let's see. So here we have what looks like a collection of our standard enemies that we're going to beat up throughout the game. Which I suppose these will be either Harley Quinn's characters or Joker characters. They kind of look more like they're working for Harley Quinn than Joker. But they're called Harley's thugs. And then, spoiler already, we know there is going to be a Harley Titan thug. So the Titan formula is going to play another role. Maybe we'll see more of these throughout the game, and we'll fight them more. And yeah, here, since you have a overly muscular mutated freak of a character, you have like elephantism really in the leg and in one arm, making him awkwardly big. But even in this, with the slight exception of like maybe still a little too much emphasis on a 8-pack, like this doesn't feel like he is overly emphasized with his outfit as far as muscles. And what this probably says more than anything is that the artist here was free to create something new from scratch, whereas the Batman outfits had to look like the Batman outfits, and Warner Brothers would have had tight control under how Batman was depicted every time. And clearly they didn't want Batman to look too different from the way he'd been depicted in the past, which he's always been depicted as too overly muscly. This outfit again emphasizes the 8-pack, but it looks more like cushioning. I think that's where that actually comes into play better, is that if to say Batman is just cushioning himself, and you have like this metal garter belt, not garter belt, groin plate, codpiece, that's the word, codpiece, which that's a little extreme, and he has like this metal on his chest too. And then, yep, in this one you can actually see his eyes, and he's a little bit more clean shaven. But that's really the only human on Batman, and that's kind of a problem artistically when you're creating him, when you have 99% of his body covered in fabric and hidden away from the world, and the only humanity you see, if you see any humanity at all, is through the eyes and through the mouth. And he, even at that, he usually is not showing humanity through his eyes and mouth. He's just snarling. Alright. Well, there, like the first game, it seems like there's going to be a little too many modes for my taste. It feels like it would be nicer just to have been forced into starting a new game and playing, but whatever. So we start, it asks you for subtitles, but it has them on by default. Hence, brightness, it's kind of pointless to be able to adjust the brightness when you can't really adjust it to anything in particular. You would just be whatever you see in this image. Novice players are those new to the action-adventure game genre only. Enemies are no match for the strength, gadgets, and the intellect. Balanced difficulty options suitable for most players. Enemies are tough, aggressive, and merciless, but you are the Batman ready to bring justice to the streets. Or hard, enemies are faster, tougher, and more dangerous right from the start. Challenges will push Batman to the limit. This should only be attempted by people who are experts at Batman Arkham Asylum or very brave. So it seems like it's a very wide difference between easy, normal, and hard. So I'll just stay on normal. I don't really want a frustrating experience. Cain and Abel.
What I found.
Don't touch it, man. He'll kill you.
How long till the boss gets here?
He'll be here.
Riley said he saw the bat. Is he here too?
In Arkham City. Why would he come here? You guys just need to chill the hell out.
So are these Two-Faces guys?
What the hell?
Sorry to disappoint you boys. It's just little old me.
So we didn't get to play as anyone other than Batman in Arkham Asylum. And she definitely feels agile. And this definitely feels very easy. And I enjoy that idea way more. But the problem still comes down to the fact
now
that
they're all taken care of, it's time to get what I came for.
that took
safe.
a lot of button mashing to defeat. How many people was that? 5 or 6 people? Alright, so I like the idea of playing. It says vote dense, so I guess we haven't gotten to Two-Face yet, so I don't know why these guys are burnt on one side. Or maybe they are Two-Face's characters. Here we can see there's some like fabric paper physics going on. Right. We can crouch down. That's an awkward crouch sequence, but clearly do that. Interesting. I'm seeing a little bit of visual glitches. Clearly this game was not fully designed to render at 1080p, or they just didn't program it that well. I assume that these games are going to get worse, not better. Let's see. Interesting. The whip doesn't seem like it really hits where you target. I was thinking it would be really cool if you could whip out the candle. Let's see. We have a detective mode. And she gets that too. She's got a lot of animations and just like idle animations. We don't have a jump button. We have standard attack buttons. We have a B area effect button. Wonder if there's any collectibles in this little tutorial or not. Seems like you're kicking up the edges of these carpets way too easily. It'd be kind of weird for a agile cat-like character to drag their feet on a carpet and kick it over instead of just stepping over it. I assume what's going to happen is Batman's going to show up as she gets this, or this is going to see, like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense that they would program it to be that way. This might be a vertical sync issue, this might be a visual effects issue, and we may have to just use the GeForce Experience recommended settings. Like, visually, I'm not seeing a lot of issues, but I'm seeing a little bit of screen tearing, and I'm seeing maybe some incorrect frame pacing. So let's see if we could adjust visual settings. I'm not sure you can adjust any of the visual settings inside the game. I think you may have to exit all the way out. Well, I'm not going to bother to do that.
Try and get one over on me, will you, Har? I don't think so.
So she steals a SD card, not even a micro SD card or a mini SD card.
Get your filthy paws off that now.
So that really goes to show how old the game is.
Wake up, Mr. Wayne. We have much to discuss.
Strange? You won't get away with this.
I already have.
This is Vicky Vale reporting live from Arkham City, the controversial super prison built
that
right
animation
here in the
looks
heart of Gotham.
awful.
In a few moments, Bruce Wayne will be live on stage to explain his sudden interest in Gotham politics. The infamous Playboy millionaire has never been one
It's
to...
billionaire, Vicky. Millionaires were so last year.
So I think Strange was the guy who was in charge
I
of
assume that you
Arkham
thought yourself
Asylum.
untouchable. Well, as you can see,
And he had plans
one is untouchable.
to turn Arkham Asylum into Arkham City, basically expanding.
Gang leaders are fighting a bloody war in the middle of our once great city. Every inmate from Arkham Asylum and Blackgate Prison has been relocated to this facility. How can this be safe for the people of Gotham?
The controller's vibrating.
Arkham City down. It's out of control.
Shut it down. By the end of tonight, I will be a hero, just like you, Batman.
Today, I'm starting the campaign to close Arkham City and make Gotham safe again.
That's an odd phrase. I'm fairly certain this game came out before Make America Great Again was a phrase that was said. Although, in all fairness, that phrase was used but before Donald Trump used it. It was used by a politician several decades earlier.
Now that we have you, Protocol 10 is ready to begin. It will be my legacy, a monument to your failure.
Now
you
his
try to
face
stop me,
animations are way
I
better.
guarantee everyone will know your secret.
You are mine, new inmates. Let me introduce myself. I am Professor Hugo Strange, and I am in charge of the Arkham City facility.
Left trigger to escape.
Up until this point, you have shown total disregard for the law, for society, and yourself.
So Bruce Wayne has just been
You are no longer
kidnapped.
a part of the society that you have shown no respect for. You have been separated from the good people of Gotham. By committing the actions that resulted in you being sent here, you have given up the right to a so-called normal life.
So, yeah. They apparently are just gonna let him be judge and jury.
You will follow the rules of Arkham City to the letter. These rules ensure your continued well-being. Rule 1. Do not approach.
What the hell are you doing? You think we wouldn't hear you? Help me! Escape in progress! Help!
Was I supposed to push some buttons there?
Welcome to Arkham City, Wayne.
Kill you, but you're gonna die in here. You're gonna be my bitch, Wayne.
Back on the ground. What are you waiting for, Wayne? Line A, move!
So, the first game, you as Batman were walking the, you were walking the Joker into Arkham Asylum. Here, I guess we're going this way.
You two get out of the way. Wayne, get your ass up here.
What's it to you?
Bruce Wayne, you're on my list.
I have no idea who this person is. As we're a very awkward area to try and squeeze by.
Lower your weapons. Mr. Wayne will not be any trouble. Will you, Mr. Wayne?
So these are just like
Can stay on.
private
We
police.
don't want to make things too easy, do we?
Apparently, and just the idea of the rule of law and the idea that you can't just throw people without trial into
I was
a
reporting on
prison.
the crummy press conference, and now here we both are. I guess that'll teach you to get involved in politics, won't it?
Listen to me carefully. When they open the door, do not panic. Stay close to me.
Do you think I'm taking advice from some guy who's never even been in a fight?
Stay calm. They're trying to scare us.
Sorry, man. It's every man for himself.
So it definitely feels like there's going to be more people.
Help me!
Seems like all I can do right now is counter.
On your feet, Ryder. I said get up.
So we rescued Jack Ryder. And seems like Cobblepot also was involved in this plan. The Penguin.
Lights out, rich boy.
Like, there almost is an argument that Batman running around just beating up people night after night could easily just not pay enough attention to the day-to-day politics as the entire country became, as the entire Gotham City became corrupted and taken over.
This, well, let's just call this good old-fashioned revenge. Get him!
Of course, being able to just counter Cobblepot is a little weird.
Think he's broken my bloody hand!
Now what I'd like to see here, now the cuffs broke, is more of a faster experience if I'm capable of just getting stronger faster. Like, I don't want to have to reach a 5-10 combo, knock somebody down on the ground, and then I think it was Y and the like right trigger that you had to do a lot, where you'd have to come over here and hold the left trigger and press Y to smash their heads in the ground. Yeah, there is... I don't know which way I'm supposed to really be going. I guess we'll just climb with the A button, which I guess means we are going to have some platforming experience. Interesting. And it's pretty fast moving climbing too, because there was this whole element to the Arkham Asylum game that you were definitely in part... Am I supposed to be jumping that way? I guess I am. Playing in a stealth experience and climbing around the walls and attacking from the sky. Now that you have a whole city here, which, yeah, they definitely have expanded this from the idea of just being a small asylum island with 4 or 5 different buildings, and then you get into buildings and they're almost like linear Zelda dungeons. Now it's going to try and feel a lot more like a city. There we can see Wayne Tower. Here we're right next to Ace Chemicals, where the Joker or the Red Hood
Alfred,
died.
have you got my location?
Only just, sir. There's more interference than usual.
This is definitely a lot more texture.
The Ace Chemicals building. I'm on my way there now.
Of course.
Climb to the top of the Ace Chemicals building. Okay, we can look with the right stick. Let's see. We probably will do something with the Gotham City power grids later on. Jump towards the gap.
I can just about make that jump to the Ace Chemicals building. I'll be able to climb up from there.
So this is more Assassin's Creed.
On the evening news. Was getting yourself arrested a part of your plan all along?
Not exactly.
They have live
Although
news.
I did get some one-on-one time with Hugo Strange.
And how was that?
Not good. He knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. He also told me that something called Protocol 10 will make him famous. I can't leave Arkham City until I find out what it is.
Looks like they've got a mayor or some special building over there. I don't know if that's supposed to be a town hall, mayor's office, or what. That box probably does something. So right trigger A to hang from the edge. There really wasn't a lot of this that I remember from the first game. Which, in all fairness, that might be a good thing, because more climbing, less button mashing in pointless repetitive fights would be probably preferable. Like, when I do get to a sequence where I'm fighting somebody, I want it to be kind of a puzzle that will be in an area that'll be about 5 guys, and we'll hang from gargoyles and try and knock them all out. But if I'm just walking from point A to point B, I don't really feel a need to have dozens of people attack me. There, we got an achievement for suiting up. It's kind of a fake on top of a fake to have you play as Catwoman.
I took an encryption key from a Tiger guard. I'm going to hack into their communications.
Tiger, Tyger. Encrypted data chip, access broadcast keys.
Good evening, Gotham. This is Vicky Vale. Earlier tonight, we brought you dramatic video of Bruce Wayne being arrested and dragged into Arkham City.
Oh, I guess we just have to listen.
To justify this heavy-handed approach to what was a peaceful protest. What will happen to Mr. Wayne behind these walls? Known as an international playboy, he will now have to contend with convicted thieves, murderers, and cannibals. Will he have the skills to survive? This is Vicky Vale, reporting for Gotham Live. More later in the program.
So, I guess you can just listen to that FM radio station as much as you want.
All units, we have confirmation that Bruce Wayne has been arrested by Tiger guards and taken into Arkham City.
This is Gordon. To try and stop this situation turning into a damn legal nightmare, I want all GCPD officers to stop taking prisoners to Arkham City. Taken to the GCPD. Taken to the zoo for all I care. Just don't let that maniac Strange get his hands on them. Wayne's lawyers are going to have a field day with this, and I don't want my budgets being cut to pay for some rich guy's next vacation. Understand?
Okay.
All units, this is Air Tiger 4. We have confirmation that prisoner 4011 is in the courthouse. I repeat, Catwoman is in the courthouse.
Is she in danger?
Affirmative. Target is being held by Dent. We believe he intends to kill her. How should we proceed?
Stand down. Let Two-Face have his fun.
Understood.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it does not. Mr. Dent's predilection for all things binary may not bode well for Miss Kyle.
If there's one person in Arkham City who knows what's really going on, it's her. I need to find Catwoman now.
Join Two-Face? You're gonna need to hit him harder.
And there's basically a tower. So we have this whole map. So we are here. And we want to go here. And let's see. Zooming in, not much. Even at this, though, you can kind of see how this is not all of Gotham City's. There's like, I think supposed to be 5 boroughs or 5 bridges in Gotham City, or 5 islands. It's supposed to be a fairly big place, and yeah. This has a steel mill and an industrial district, and an amusement mile, GCPD building, which apparently is not considered part of Gotham City. So is this Gotham City where it says restricted area? Or Arkham City? Yeah. Yeah, I would almost assume that down below here was Arkham Island. And now we're just on a different island. And the vast majority and the desire would have been to eventually have an entire big open world experience. And it took 4 or 5 games, but I think they finally got to that point. I'm not sure it really helped anything. Got a whole bunch of character bios, which in the first game that kind of got fairly exhausting fairly quickly. And this is kind of fairly exhausting fairly quickly because the mouse is in the wrong place. Yeah. Although, I would be much happier to have Batman's bios just say his parents were killed here than have to relive that whole sequence once again. And it doesn't seem to me like there's going to be anything big that you unlock. Here we have an Alfred. This Alfred looks very different from any Alfred I've ever seen. We probably will only hear his voice. It also is saying what he first appeared in. So, like, Detective Comics number 27 was the first appearance of Batman. Alfred was in Batman number 16. Then you'd have to look at the dates to figure out what the difference there is. So we may very well not find any kind of collectibles that expand on our information. Vicky Vale, her appearance seems really last minute. Like, even her face just does not look like it has been as well designed as even Alfred's face. So I would hope we do see Alfred, because yeah, she basically looks like she was a pre-bought face from an asset store. And then they have a bit of a problem here that the background and they're squishing everything together for something closer to a 4:3 ratio than a 16:9 ratio. So that would make it a little bit difficult to read the text. Not incredibly difficult though. Here we have Catwoman showing a lot of cleavage. Yep. There is definitely, I think, a problem. Jack Ryder apparently showed up in Showcase number 73, so he is a character. I've just never heard of him. There is a problem, certainly, with the female characters in the Batman the Arkham games being more sex symbols than anything else, and that's probably true in the entirety of the Batman comics in general, is that you don't have any real sex symbols that are male, you don't have any real non-sex symbols that are female. Here we have a character, Black Mask, which I guess we'll be dealing with Black Mask later. I don't think at the moment now there's anything to do with that. It seems like there's going to be a certain number of collectibles as far as Arkham City stories. Then select your upgrade from the Wayne Tech selection screens. So I probably don't have anything that I can upgrade right now, but there's tutorials all in this that we'll probably get hints at. And there'll be apparently 3 more abilities. And at some point we'll get enough XP to increase our armor for ballistics, combat, shockwave, and 2 more things. And then we'll have a decent amount of gadgets, and we have a couple of combat abilities, predator abilities. Honestly, looking at all these predator abilities, it feels like they're either just giving them to you at the very beginning of the game because they don't want you to miss out, or the Game of the Year version of this game just gave you a lot of abilities. They probably just gave all the players these abilities though, because I couldn't imagine that you'd have to actually spend XP to unlock a lot of these takedowns, which it does seem like the takedowns are just the thing. This is an odd outfit system that they have here. It seems like it's just kind of missing details around the edges and squishing everything into the middle of the screen. Does seem like we will be playing as Catwoman for a while, and every time I come to this menu, the mouse is going to be in the middle of the screen. But we won't seemingly spend too much time on as Catwoman. Okay. So, I bet that's a trap. That was the guess. Here we can see.
If you want to join Two-Face. Two-Face don't take people who fight like girls. No way you're good enough to join Two-Face.
Okay. So hold A, run off the edge, and glide.
You need to do better than that if you want to join Two-Face.
And so like the little local surveillance stuff
People who fight like girls.
probably doesn't matter. Here we have a Riddler trophy locked down. We can't just hit it. I think instead we're gonna have to stand on this. See, how many guns do we have?
Hello, Dark Knight. Did you find that easy? You were supposed to. That was merely a taste of what is to come. You will regret trying to outsmart me. You will solve my riddles, and you will collect my trophies. You may not want to, but you must. It's a matter of life and death.
And that definitely seems to be robotic. And okay. I got us some XP. Also got us a character bio of the Riddler, which they're not showing the face of the Riddler. See, they definitely, to make the first game a success, decided to focus more on. This guy is seeing me.
All Arkham prisoners are responsible for their own care. Limited medical resources are
So we could run around and do a lot of stuff, but I think we need to save Catwoman first.
While all the good stuff's happening in there. Just do what Two-Face says.
Yeah, don't let him start tossing that coin. If it comes up bad, you could be dead before you know it.
Just like Bailey.
Yeah, just like Bailey. Two-Face put him on a big-ass industrial saw and cut him clean in half.
You're kidding. Does he look like he's kidding? We had to clean it up. Have you ever seen what comes out of someone when they're cut in half? Can't say I have.
So
It's nasty. Bits of liver, heart, whatever he had for lunch that day, and the smell. Oh, it's freaking horrible.
The question is there really a way in here?
Harvey, friendships end real quick. If that coin comes up bad, you better run.
Is there?
I can't believe we're still out here at night.
Look, I told you I was sorry. I lost track.
Let's hope it doesn't get us killed.
We just need to be careful. We move when they fight. They'll be too busy killing each other to notice us heading back to the camp.
I don't understand why they even want to fight for this place. Two-Face ends up owning that bit of street. So what? He's still stuck in here. What did he say again?
So apparently there's political prisoners.
September, 30 days hath September, 30 days hath September. It was creepy.
Why did you stay?
I don't know. He looked at me like I was nothing. You know, the way a kid looks at an ant.
Before he kills it.
Yeah, but he's stuck behind bars.
Is he?
And then you just kind of a simplistic lay.
No idea, but I'm not going back down there.
So yeah, it feels like a Calendar Man reference, but immediately you have a problem here where
There's got to be another way.
But there's just a lot of stuff around here clearly you can deal with.
You're the last person I expected to see in here. What did you do?
You don't want to know. Who are you?
Who was I, you mean? In here, you're nothing. Out there, I worked at the company handling security for this place.
Yeah, me too.
Don't tell me. You were sent here by Strange.
Yeah, that evil son of a bitch. What the hell did I do wrong?
You obviously know something you shouldn't. Try to figure out what that is and stay out of sight.
So, we've got some people we need to protect, probably. Although Batman's not really the protecting type, really. And then it's kind of just gates over here.
Why can't we go into court?
You're safer out here.
Yeah, quit your moaning or I'll give you something to cry about.
It's Batman!
So yeah, you just get to this point, and
There's some kind of fight going on over there.
then there's too many people to start off with in the game to really just go for this combat action, and it would be fine if Batman just power punched characters really fast instead of knocking them down and then letting them get back up. And eventually at the end of the game we did have enough upgrades that Batman was hitting enough people, but we're still not at that point at the beginning of this game. It doesn't make you knock out the final person, and I'll applaud the game for that, and that was less button mashing, and it wasn't as difficult button mashing than I feel like the first game had, because yeah, I really had to mash the button quite a bit and be fairly fast about it in the first game, and they've kind of dumbed it down and made it slower, which I'm fine with that. This is the Solomon Wayne Courthouse, which I thought I would just walk through this entire area, and that would be that. There are 2 armed, 47 unarmed hostiles in that room. There's 1 armed guard up there, and we can see that seems like Catwoman's being hung upside down. A lot of pictures of people. The game really didn't tell you to go into detective mode. We could stealth, and you can see how Batman's stealth ability is definitely not just crawling around like a cat. Now this is the game that basically established the idea of being in detective mode the entire time. And so we'd like to see that go away too.
This place is to get ourselves some respect. Be here. That's how we get respect. Show them all that we do things.
They didn't show Two-Face at all in the first
Fair,
game.
though. This is a place of justice, after all. Screw justice. Kill her, and they'll all fear us.
Bring out the defendant.
You certainly know how to keep a girl hanging, Harv. Hey, have you had some work done?
It's kind of surprising that
Stealing from us. No one steals from
that
us.
they didn't try to make a cartoon off these models.
I've been a bad
We've
kitty.
seen some models very similar to this,
And I'll
but
make it up to you.
this is an old enough game that these 3D models wouldn't be easy enough to just copy over to a to a
This court is now in session.
like direct-to-DVD series of movies or a Netflix series or anything like that. I wanted to open this, but
leave, Catwoman will die.
oops. A lot of pieces of paper just getting flicked.
Taking out the thug with the gun is the key. Without him, the rest of the room won't be a problem.
To join with us, to create a new force in Arkham.
Okay.
Take this place for ourselves.
So it looks like we're going to walk the wire. Is there anything collectible over here?
Or you can just leave now. And we will hunt you down and kill you all. But let's not dwell on the negative. Let's have some fun. Fate delivered a gift to us tonight. A gift that will show everybody that we mean business.
So are we supposed to be doing
And
something?
you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, will be part of it. Help us decide if we should kill the bitch who tried to steal from us. Or let her go to do it again. Like hell we will.
Like,
There are two sides to every story. Let's hear hers before passing judgment.
seems like I could have silent taken down those two.
So what will it be, distinguished members of the jury? Is the bitch guilty, or should we let her go steal from someone else?
Objection. Isn't that a leading question, Harvey?
Silence in my court.
Let me go, boys. I've got places to go, people to see.
I guess we take out that guy.
Our friend Batman has arrived. Grab him and cut him in two.
So instead of
You're not welcome in my court, Batman.
taking out 47 of them, instead it was more a case of just fighting 5 of them, and then the rest of them ran away. Which, that's fine, but it definitely highlights the fact that this is still a game that really can only have so many people attack you at once. Even if the game would let you attack more people, if the engine would let you do it.
Overruled.
Like, the gameplay mechanic itself would not really be better.
Which one lets me out of here alive?
Not this one. Time to die.
I vote for a stay of execution. No gun harm? Shame. This is gonna hurt.
What's funny is we played as her, and her shirt was zipped up before then, and now it isn't.
And I thought it was cats who have 9 lives.
So I wonder if her cleavage is just gonna show in cutscenes and not in actual gameplay.
How's it hanging, Harv?
And last I heard, Batman was just straight up married to Catwoman.
Anyone ever tell you that you're full of
And
surprises?
she's
I
mostly
figured you could use my help,
a
Selena.
good character
You're
at this
right.
point.
I think I chipped a nail back there.
Funny.
So what do you need, Mr. Detective?
Protocol 10. What do you know, Selena?
Never heard of it.
That's not what I wanted to hear. What about Strange?
I don't trust him. He's been missing for years, and then is suddenly put in charge of running Arkham City. Rumor has it he's been working with Joker, planning something very special just for you. Maybe that's Protocol 10.
So I wonder if the idea is that this takes place years after
Ex-district
the
attorney
Arkham
here said something.
Asylum
What the
game.
hell?
It really wouldn't make sense, though. Like, you could say a couple years had passed, but you really couldn't say
This place is
5 or 10
dangerous.
years had passed
I like it. You expecting a kiss?
for it to make sense.
It was Joker. You're not safe here. No one is.
9 lives, remember?
I need to locate where the bullet entered the court and where it impacted.
So, yeah.
We'll kill you for this, Batman.
Weird. I may have lost some XP there by not doing more silent takedowns. This key seems to say there are like 2 somethings, 2 brackets, and there are 2 question marks. We have no side missions, but apparently there's quite a few of them. Like, on the scale of things, we can see that pretty much every building here is going to probably play a role. It'd be shocking to not see almost every building be something that you could enter for one reason or another. We're quickly getting more of the characters, which I guess what's going to happen here is, unlike the first game, is we're going to be shown the cast of characters, and that's just going to be that, and we're not going to have a long list of crazier characters, lesser known characters. I don't think they really gained any major interest by having the crazier extra characters. We now have some kind of challenges. So, glide for over 150 meters without using the grapple boost. So, at some point we're going to have to get somewhere really far and really tall to do a lot of gliding. 20 combat combos. Let's see if there's... Seems like we only have to do that once, though. Then we have combo battering in combat 10 times. Back claw slam 5 times. Doing each one of these seems to potentially give you more skill XP or something. A lot of these gameplay mechanics actually don't feel like they make much sense. That they definitely feel like they are tapped on to a different type of game than what the story is telling. You do have that weird point here where, honestly, Batman feels like a movie or a comic book or a TV series. It feels like something that's just going to hold your hand and tell your story. So once you put Batman in the role of the player, or the player in the role of Batman, then all of a sudden the player has control, and you have to kind of role play as Bruce Wayne, as Batman, a lot more for a Batman game than I think you have to role play for random Skyrim character who can do anything he wants. Because there's very specific ways that this game is going to want you to play. It's not in line with the concept of an open world, even though they are going to continuously try to have this game be more of an open world, where arguably it probably is much more linear, or should be much more linear than it seems. Well, that was an hour and 10 minutes so far. It's pretty good, but it is a little bit slow. It's a bit of a shame that we're just getting shown Two-Face and then immediately like capturing Two-Face and then we're immediately being told that the Joker is involved, when that certainly could be something that was revealed later. Maybe they're going to just try and get rid of Two-Face and the Joker early so we can focus on some other things. I imagine it's just going to be a long chase sequence to get to the Joker. If we saw that Harley Quinn is in mourning, then maybe we're going to kill off the Joker fairly quickly, and then it will just be Harley Quinn running some of the gangs. It definitely feels like there will be 2 or 3 gangs running Arkham City. But, yeah. Part of the problem I think you have with a game like this is because you have Gotham City as your name place. You pretty much expect that to be very tall buildings, very dark and dirty neighborhoods. You're not expecting to see parks, bright, open suburban areas, or anything like that. There was a Batman comic at one point where they kind of moved, I believe it was Batgirl, to be a younger character and rebooted her, put her at the other side of Gotham. She's still in Gotham, but she's in the college, bright and cheerful side of Gotham, where Batman tends not to hang out, instead of the crime alley side of Gotham where Batman is. You kind of would need some of that. You need some greenery. This is one of the few open world games, because you're using Gotham as a setting, where you don't really need a bunch of trees and grass, or you just wouldn't immediately think to do that. Of course, you could have written in Poison Ivy to make big green sections of the city, and then that could change up the color palette, and the color palette definitely needs to be adjusted for this game. Otherwise, we're going to see a lot of black, a lot of darkness. Yep. It's a bit of a slow start, this game, but we'll, I think, be able to power through it. We may at a certain point decide to not bother to try and get all the collectibles, but I suspect in this case, since it's an open world, you could always go back and get the collectibles that you missed anyways. Anyways, as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to further follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wish list. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.